please welcome Julia. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Andy. I'm so excited to be here tonight, and thank you to those of you who are in attendance, and also hello to those of you in the future who are watching this on YouTube after it's posted. So yes, welcome to the new Spider Summer Series on Disability Services. I really want to thank Andy Gurka so much for inviting me to present an overview of our office with you all in an effort to enhance the preparation for your first year experience. The Office of Disability Services works to ensure that those within our campus community who have disabilities are provided opportunities for full participation and equal access to campus resources. This mission reflects a commitment consistent and in compliance with federal standards and state regulations. It also underscores the importance of recognizing and promoting the student's ability and independence. I'm going to provide an approximate 10-minute overview of disability services, and then we can open it up for questions that anyone might have. I'm going to click to my next slide here. Here we go. Our office consists of myself and the Director of Disability Services, Dr. Court Schneider. Dr. Schneider has more than a decade of experience managing student disability offices at the university level, and he has worked in both small and large college settings. He is a published scholar who examines issues that impact students, and he has a history of serving students in multiple capacities. Dr. Schneider has a deep understanding of higher education policy and cultural diversity, and has a solid academic background. He has extensive experience working with faculty and has creative ideas for improved education and training of faculty. As the Disability Services Accessibility Specialist, I serve as a campus resource for students with disabilities who require academic accommodation support. My main job duties center on the management of the Disability Services Academic Testing Center, as well as direct academic accommodation assistance. I serve as the primary disability services staff member regarding academic accommodation determination, outcome decisions, and management of academic accommodations through case management and faculty support. I am a current participant in the Head Start Academy, which is the Association on Higher Education and Disabilities virtual academy and mentoring experience for newer disability resource personnel. I am also a very recent graduate. I got my final grades yesterday. I just completed a graduate certificate with Northern Arizona University's Institute for Human Development. And the graduate certificate is a Disability Resource Specialist certificate. So I'm really excited about that. And that was a wonderful program. On a personal note, I'm also a member of the volunteer committee for the Special Olympics Virginia Summer Games, which is hosted annually on the University of Richmond campus and some surrounding locations each June. Our office is located in the very center of campus in Boatwright Memorial Library on the lower level, and we have our own convenient, accessible entrance. At our very core, our office goal is to promote accessibility and disability advocacy on our campus. So what does that mean? It means that each student has the legal and ethical right to an equal opportunity of all campus amenities, including but not limited to academics, housing, dining, parking, and events. It also means our student support is interactive and individualized in a one-on-one confidential setting with a dedicated staff member. Additionally, the Office of Disability Services undergoes efforts to normalize disability on campus by mentoring student organizations such as the Disability Student Ambassadors and our school's College Diabetes Network chapter. We also organize and promote campus-wide events. One of the reasons why promoting accessibility awareness on campus is so important is that the majority of students who are registered with our office have invisible disabilities. The reality is that about 14% of our undergraduate students at the University of Richmond are registered with our office, and national trends show this is likely to increase. With an average class size of about 16 students, there are going to be approximately 2 students in each class who are registered with disability services. It is vital for our campus community to know that disability is a broad term, including both physical disabilities as well as invisible disabilities, such as ADHD, autism, learning disabilities, and psychological diagnosis. The disability services intake process is clearly outlined on our website, but we're also happy to verbally chat through the steps at any time. The first step is for the student to complete an accommodation application on which they can upload documentation from their provider that verifies their disability or condition, describes the symptoms that the student is experiencing as a result of their diagnosis, and identifies any functional barriers that are in place as a result of those symptoms. For more guidance on our documentation that is helpful for us to review, feel free to visit our documentation guidance webpage, or as always, feel free to reach out to us for a chat. The student can submit different types of accommodation requests on the same initial application, whether it be for academic, dining, housing, parking, or of course, any other category. Upon receipt of an accommodation application, we carefully review the accommodation application and accompanying documentation. We then invite the student to participate in a one-on-one, interactive, and individualized confidential intake meeting. This can take place via Zoom or in person. During the intake meeting, we work with the student to agree upon what will at least be their initial accommodation plan. This does not need to be the first or last time that the student utilizes our services. We pride ourselves on working continuously with students during the time that they are deciding whether or not Richmond is a good fit for them during their tenure as a student at the university and beyond. We actually just had a big cheer fest in our office this week because one of our alums who we're still working with got a job offer. So that's also a way in which we will be happy to eventually support our students. Students can log into the Disability Services Student Portal about 2 weeks prior to each semester to send their disability accommodation notice to their professors with just a few simple clicks. I always send an email reminder along with instructions on how to do this, since this is something that students only do twice a year. I will now share some information that is helpful for you to know as a new spider about what students can expect when working with disability services. We take student confidentiality very seriously. Disability Services features a student-driven approach, and we strive to provide timely, thorough, and helpful assistance to both students and faculty as they navigate accommodation implementation. Our registration process is efficient and streamlined. Our goal is to promote access, and therefore it is important for our processes to be without burden to the student or their provider. We are so much more than accommodation request processing. Students and faculty can reach out to us for support at any time throughout the year. We are a small but mighty office, and therefore we value our wonderful campus partners, such as counseling and psychological services, otherwise known as CAPS for their acronym. They actually run a really neat ADHD skills workshop throughout the year that students have regarded very positively. We also work with the Academic Skills Center, who specialize in time management, academic coaching, tutoring, and assistance with study skills, just to name a few of their services. Initial accommodation plans do not need to be set in stone. Symptoms can change over time as well as needs, and accommodations should be updated to reflect those changes as deemed appropriate. I definitely encourage all of you to visit our website, which includes frequently asked questions sections that are specific to both students and their families. At this time, I'll open it up for questions as well as information that our director would like to share.
I just do want to say, one, Julia did a great job. I'm Dr. Court Schneider. You can think of us, like Julia said, not just as the accommodation office, but like a campus GPS. So oftentimes if you're struggling or your student's struggling, you can come to us. And if we don't know the answer, we can direct you to the right office and help you recalculate. So that's a lot of what we do, a lot of problem solving. And we want our office to be your home away from home on campus. If you're not in our office enough to bother us, you're not in our office enough. So that's kind of how we see it.
Alrighty, thank you to the student or family member who put a question in the Q&A. The question is, will you please repeat the process regarding notifying professors about accommodations? Absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So accommodation implementation, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen at this time. Accommodation implementation is essentially two steps. It is notification and then also collaboration. So we have this wonderful software system where students can log in to their Disability Services student portal, and they'll log in with their single sign-on information. And then with just a few simple clicks prior to the start of each semester, they will send a letter, which is their disability accommodation notice, to each of their professors. And the letter only has basic guidance for professors about accommodations, as well as our office's contact information. It also has the students' academic, meaning testing and or classroom accommodations, as well as, of course, the student's name and ID number. It does not have a diagnosis, information about symptoms, anything like that. It just includes the information that is needed for professors to have to legally implement accommodations. And then what's really neat is each professor receives an email notification that they have received a disability accommodation notice. They then log into their Disability Services professor portal and they view and acknowledge the disability accommodation notice. At that time, the student receives an automated email letting them know that the professor has reviewed their accommodation letter. And then that can be a green light for the student, or they can do it before they receive this email, to reach out to the professor and just say, hey, can we have a quick Zoom chat about how I'm going to implement my accommodations? For example, if students are approved for testing accommodations, maybe they want to talk with the professor about using the option of the Disability Services Testing Center where they can implement accommodations, or any other specifics that they would like to chat about accommodation implementation. Thank you so much for that great question. Are there any other questions at this time? Or any follow-up questions to what I've just shared are welcome. Well, I just really want to thank you all so much again for joining us tonight. this has been something I've been looking forward to, and so thank you to everyone who is in here, and also a hello to future viewers once this is posted online. And thank you so much, Andy.